Everyone. This is the review for AEW Dynamite February 23rd, 2022. So show opens, it's a tag team battle royal. Pretty standard. 10 teams enter, you have to be thrown over the top rope to get eliminated. And both members of the team have to be thrown out in order for that team to be eliminated. So I just wrote down eliminations and then like a few spots. We have Reynolds gets eliminated by Blade, and then Silver eliminates Blade right after. Ortiz throws out Austin Gunn. Santana tosses Colton Gunn. Butcher shoulder tackles everyone. Then they showcase Butcher a bit. Yeah, they showcase Butcher a bit. Best Friends eliminate Butcher. Red Dragon eliminates Chuck Taylor. Silver eliminates Smart Quinn. And then Matt Hardy saves Isaiah Cassidy and then throws him back onto the apron. And then John Silver just boots him anyway and then gets eliminated just immediately after Matt Hardy saves him. And Hardy is pissed. Santana eliminates 2.0, and the Bucks eliminate Ortiz. FTR hits the big rig on John Silver. FTR throws Nick Jackson out. Orange Cassidy saves Trent from elimination. Trent goes wild for a bit. Trent clothesline Bobby Fish out. Tully tries to help eliminate John Silver, but Silver eliminates Cash Wheeler. Straight jacket backstabber by John Silver onto Matt Jackson. That's what they called it on commentary. It was like a really unique move. I wanted to include it in there. That was the first time I've ever seen that move. So people start to stand up for Santana and Trent face off, and then they're both fighting on the apron, and then you have Matt Jackson and Kyle O'Reilly boot both of them off. So the four left is Matt Jackson, Kyle O'Reilly, John Silver, and Dax Harwood. This was when I noticed that Bobby Fish, even though he was eliminated earlier, was just staying on the outside. Like you could see some shots of him on the outside. I'm just like, how have the referees not thrown out Bobby Fish already? Like at this point, Bobby Fish was like already eliminated for like at least 5 minutes, and he's still like just stalking and crawling around the outside, like, and no one's kicking him out. I don't know. That was weird. So Dax Harwood and Kyle O'Reilly fighting on the apron now, and then this is where Bobby Fish comes in and he eliminates Dax Harwood, and then Silver hits a double suplex onto Matt Jackson and Kyle O'Reilly, and then he runs wild for a bit. Matt super kicks John Silver. Kyle O'Reilly says, throw out John Silver for me. And then as Matt is throwing out John Silver, Kyle O'Reilly also throws out Matt Jackson at almost the exact same time. So both of them are eliminated, and the Young Bucks are furious. And then Adam Page comes out, starts beating up Red Dragon, and the Bucks are just like, yeah, we're not going to do anything. And they kind of just back away as they're watching Page beat them up. And then Adam Cole comes out. Page drops him too. Page goes for the buckshot, but Red Dragon saves Adam Cole. Then Silver wipes out Red Dragon, throws Kyle O'Reilly back in, and then Kyle O'Reilly eats the buckshot. Have Red Dragon wins in 1856, so about 19 minutes. And then short Adam Page promo basically says Adam Cole is going to lose to him. And he did have like this really unique line at the end where something like the sound of a buckshot goes boom or whatever. I just wrote a little clip on it, but yeah, that was Battle Royal. What do you think about it? I thought it was pretty decent. What you would expect from it?
It was decent, but I will say I am definitely looking more towards the casino battle royale. One thing I'll say for like these type of battle royals, way too many people in the beginning for me to care what's going on.
Yeah, it was like just like a bunch of people that you knew weren't gonna win. Like I don't know why they have John Silver make like the final four, but then you have Alex Reynolds as the first person eliminated in that. Like you can't eliminate anyone else. I don't I don't know. That kind of just like I'm never gonna believe that John Silver and Alex Reynolds have a chance at winning anything if Reynolds is like the complete geek who just gets eliminated first, and then Silver has to do all the weightlifting to like carry his team.
Yeah. I think it's just because always when there's so many people like in the ring at one time, it just becomes like a lot for the viewer to keep track of, and you in these type of situations it's more likely for the camera team to like miss something. I don't think they really made any mistakes this time, but I know like past ones. But overall, I think like when they have a limit for how many people like are in the ring at a time, things look a lot smoother, and there's just like not a bunch of people like in the crowded in the corners while the spots happen in the middle of the ring or at the edge. because I
Yeah.
wrote down
Um,
that the only time I started really paying attention was when it was FTR, the Bucks, Red Dragon, Trent, Silver, and Santana left in the ring. All the time before that, I really just wasn't interested in what was going on.
yeah, those about the same. Like I didn't write, like I just wrote eliminations, but once it started dwindling down to the numbers, then you can actually pick out the spots. So I mean, but I mean that's what you kind of get from a battle royal. There's like 20 people in there. So
Yeah,
um
yeah. As far as
it,
battle
it, it did
royals go, I'd say it was overall decent, but I'm definitely looking forward to the casino battle royal more next week than what this match was.
yeah, I mean Bucks are probably winning next week. I
Yeah,
think I don't know anyone else because I don't think Red Dragon's gonna try to like screw over the Bucks from winning. Maybe they will. Who knows? But like I mean, I expected Red Dragon to win this one in like kind of the same manner. Like I expected them to like betray the Bucks at one point, and then like it did come. So
well, despite my cheering for 2.0, it did not happen sadly, but
yeah,
I am happy to see Red Dragon win. They definitely
is
need more wins and more TV time. The only thing
at least
else,
2.0 for you wasn't eliminated. Like,
well, I'll
well,
always have the
actually, yeah, no, it was the Gun Club that was eliminated first. I was gonna be like,
yeah.
they might have been the first team eliminated. Nope, they weren't. So I think Gun Club was eliminated first, and then it was Butcher and Blade eliminated second, and then I think it was Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy eliminated third before 2.0. So they made three teams were eliminated before them. They're
Yeah,
not they're
yeah, I
not
think
total geeks.
it's just their connection to Daniel Garcia, who's getting pushed pretty well, and we'll see later in the show. But yeah, overall, I'd say it's a pretty decent match for a tag team battle royal. There were a few spots that I did kind of laugh at, like as you mentioned, Bobby Fish just hanging out, like still in camera, like on
Yeah,
the edge of the ring. I was just laughing, like, Bobby, you might want to duck down a bit more. And then when it was when Orange Cassidy saves Trent, and he has him like Trent's on Cassidy's shoulders, and Cassidy's going for his glasses, and I legit thought they were gonna botch the spot and Trent was gonna like fall over or something.
you have to have a little bit more faith in that. They can't botch all the spots, right?
They can botch everything, but I thought we were gonna have like I don't know if you've seen the Kofi Kingston Royal Rumble botch,
Yeah, I
but
saw that. That was unfortunate.
I thought it was gonna be a similar situation with Orange Cassidy and Trent, but luckily everything went well.
Right. So next up, you have Brian Danielson praises Daniel Garcia and then kind of throws 2.0 under the bus. Okay. So MJF comes out for his promo. MJF talks about the picture. I'll try to give like a short gist of it. Basically, said that that day where he met CM Punk meant everything to him. And MJF said that he has severe ADD and he was bullied a lot. And then it really sounds like MJF is like about to cry as he's telling this story. And it sounded like a big babyface promo from like one of like your most hated heels in the company. So I thought it was like a little strange, but I wonder how it's gonna play out. And then like he starts choking up more and more as he's talking about this story, and then like it almost felt like he was trying to force like crocodile tears. And then basically says that when Punk left pro wrestling, he was like he thought that Punk betrayed everyone, and then said and he took it upon himself to be the best in the world and that he wouldn't betray people the way Punk betrayed everyone else. And then Punk comes out, enters the ring, and then you can hear him asking, "Is this true?" And then MJF said, "Yeah, it's true." And then you see a little tear roll down his cheek, and then he just walks away. So I thought that was it's an interesting promo because it's like it definitely sounds like a babyface promo, but it's coming from MJF, who's like your biggest heel, and it kind of does make Punk feel bad, which is what the goal was. It's just like Like, do you actually want to boo MJF now? He's talking about how like he had ADD, he was bullied a lot. They called him Jew boy, they threw quarters at him. Like I kind of don't want to boo him, but like he can always hit the swerve and say that he was lying or something. But like it was I'm intrigued by it. I'm very intrigued to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, this was definitely the last thing I expected from an MJF promo. Uh, the only way I could see this going is that this entire segment was just MJF trying to play mind games with Punk and just trying to do that and just saying, haha, it was a lie all along. Because you cannot have people boo MJF when he gets like that personal. It's just going to be like a really awkward moment if that's the bad guy in all this. So I think this is set up for more down the line, and we'll see how that plays with like what Punk does in his actions and promos. Probably next week because Revolution's coming up so soon. But yeah, no, this threw me off. I could tell the audience was also caught off guard by all of this. But yeah, MJF sold it really well. The yeah, I legit thought he was gonna burst out into tears. That was really good promo work.
You don't know how hard it is to fake cry. Like it takes a lot. Like some people can do it naturally, others like they just can't do it. Like it, I can somewhat fake cry. Like I have to think about really, really, really sad and dark times for me to even be close to fake crying in front of someone. And like he pulled it, like he's got a talent because like fake crying is like pretty hard.
Yeah,
As a,
definitely.
yeah. All right. So next up, 2.0 just responds to Danielson. I always love when Matt just goes, "You want a taste?" It's just so dumb, but it's funny. Okay, so Malachi Black and Brody King versus Penta and Pac. So I think this was new music for the House of Black, but also new music for Penta and a new name for him, Penta Oscuro.
I
So just means Penta Dark.
I'm not gonna try to like interrupt you too much, but my God, when I seen his new intro, I was almost on the verge of breaking out laughing. Alex was just wearing like the most like Party City vampire looking costume I'd ever seen, and just Penta popping up from behind the tombstone. It felt so campy, and I don't think that was what they were trying to go for.
I just thought this was like I looked at it, it was like, little cringe. Okay. But like it's wrestling, so like I just it's not that big a deal to me. Like when like this is what this was made for. It was for like this type of theatrics anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so they start to brawl before the match officially starts. Penta dives and then throws Black back into the ring. So the match now starts. There's a 450 by Pac and a 2 count. Malachi tags in Brody King. He hits a big clothesline. They go into a commercial break, and then nothing really much happened in the break besides getting the heat. So this was like the probably the most interesting spot where Brody puts Pac on Penta's shoulders and then he shoulder chops him, and then that causes Pac to like go down, and he like reverse Ranas onto Penta, and it was like it was such an interesting spot. Like I've never seen that spot before either. That was so good. Like, and you've seen how big Brody King is. Like that was a hard chop, and it was totally believable that something like that could possibly happen. It was so
Yeah,
I
with the
I loved
size.
it. I
Yeah, with the
liked it.
size of Brody.
Yeah, so Brody does a tope, and then Malachi Black hits a Meteora. So then there's a little bit of miscommunication by Black and King. Then all four hit like big moves, and everyone's down. Brody gets thrown into the ring, and then Malachi Black tags in, which I didn't think was legal because Malachi Black at this point was like on the floor, and he basically just tagged while he's on the floor. I was like, you can do that? Like that doesn't. I thought you'd I mean, I don't know the rules, but I didn't think you could like tag someone while you're on the floor and not actually on the ring apron. Like, but okay, I mean, I guess it was legal. So it was a blind tag. Pac and Penta go for the fear factor, but Malachi Black turns around. tries to or turns Penta around, tries to spit the mist into Penta, but Penta covers his mouth, which causes Black to kind of like choke on his own mist, and then he rolls him up for a three. And Death Triangle wins in 7 minutes, 48 seconds. Then Brody King beats up Death Triangle almost immediately. Malachi Black brings in a shovel, which I don't think they used. And right when oh, they were about to use it because right when Black is gonna hit Penta with the shovel, like kind of like look like he's gonna like decapitate him or something. Buddy Matthews appears, or the lights go out, and then Buddy Matthews appears. And when he appeared, I was just like, he's not gonna join Penta and Pac. He's gonna just hit him. Like it's gonna be like the Adam Cole coming out to boot Jungle Boy situation. That's exactly what I was thinking, and that's exactly what happened. So like Buddy Matthews boots Pac. He starts beating on both of them. Brody King brings in a steel chair, and then um, Buddy Matthews kind of does like a curb stomp on Penta onto that steel chair. And yeah, Buddy Matthews a part of the House of Black, which is what I was expecting. I don't know if you were expecting that, but I think it was like reported Buddy Matthews was coming in, and like the vignettes that Malachi and Brody did earlier kind of showed a new character, and like I thought it was just going to be Buddy Matthews.
Yeah, I don't know much about Buddy Matthews except for a short, well, relatively short time in WWE.
Well, he was Murphy. He was really good on 205 Live in WWE.
Yeah, yeah, I more so remember when he was hitting on Rey Mysterio's daughter, which was like his last
Ooh,
storyline before
that
getting
was yeah,
released.
that
So, yeah, I'm willing to say I don't know much about my Buddy Matthews. It was interesting how Malachi Black was looking like in fear when he first seen him, and Excalibur was saying, "Oh, it was a ghost from Malachi's past." But yeah, I mean, it just looks like everyone's going to be on the same page.
yeah.
Another pale guy joining the House of Black.
But he doesn't have any tattoos.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's a big difference. So
it's a
that could
demotion.
change that a bit. I guess they'll get like a Sharpie or something and just like draw all the tattoos on him.
Yeah, this is why Malachi Black is the leader because he has the most tattoos. I guess
Brody
Buddy.
King is like has a lot more more surface area to put tattoos on.
that's
So
that's the most unique way of calling someone fat. Well, I mean, I
well,
haven't
he's
heard that in
not
a while.
fat. He's like, dude, he's really fucking tall too.
He is, but just saying someone has a lot of surface area is not necessarily a compliment.
Well, it was the best way to include like big. All right.
He is a big guy, but yeah, yeah. But overall, I'm willing to say it'll be interesting of how this group goes and if they'll just be feuding with Death Triangle some more, or if they have
Mhm.
anything else in store. Because I thought Malachi Black would be doing more of a singles run when he first came, but then when they started hinting at like Brody King coming over, and now with Buddy Matthews, it just seems more
Yeah.
like a team thing. So I don't, I really don't know, but it's interesting.
I hope they do big stuff with House of Black. But I don't know. Maybe they won't. All right. So next up, we have Kingston and Chris Jericho face off now. So this is where you and me both have differing opinions of it. When Jericho came out, I did note this. He has a six pack. I was just like, wow. Because the last time I saw him, he had like a huge beer gut dad bod. And now he's got a six pack. So I don't know, guess he's been working out. Um, so Jericho calls Kingston common street thug. I thought that was kind of a interesting insult. And then Kingston kind of cuts him off and it's just like, this isn't a sports entertainment company, but a wrestling company. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this? And then Jericho takes a shot at WWE saying this would actually be entertaining, which I thought was a little funny. He said Kingston looked like a jobber and then takes a shot at Cody saying, calling him what's his name. Basically, it was just like, yeah, Kingston, when you had that match with what's his name? I was like, okay, you can't just call him Cody. All right, whatever. So Kingston, or not Kingston, Jericho keeps mentioning how Kingston didn't make it into the big leagues until he was 38. And then I noted that Kingston's actually 40 years old, not 38. And then that kind of surprised me that Kingston was 40 years old. And then this is the part that I like I just couldn't believe. Jericho just goes, Kingston is jealous of him. I'm just like, in in what way is Eddie Kingston ever jealous of Chris Jericho? Like I just don't see it. And Kingston said that he wasn't jealous basically, and that he would always just be himself until the day that he dies, which got a huge pop from the crowd. And then Kingston just wants to fight at the pay-per-view. And then Jericho starts saying that Eddie Kingston was a failure. This part was a bit more believable for me. Saying Kingston was a failure, he can't win the big one. And then he said that like Kingston used to look up to his uncle who was a failure, and then his father was also a failure, so he got pretty testy there and like a little bit personal. Um, and Jericho's just like, I'll give you that fight, but you're not gonna win the big one. And I am the big one, and you're not gonna beat me. If you beat me, I'll like shake your hand and I'll give you respect or whatever. And then Kingston said that he wanted to fight the Jericho that was a world champ, that was like an actual big star, not like the Chris Jericho that had a mimosa match with like Orange Cassidy or got thrown off the top by MJF. And then Jericho just ends it with saying that Kingston will always be a loser and just can't win the big one. So I this this felt like a very like WWE kind of promo to me, and I don't really prefer those type of promos. And Kingston felt natural, and it for me it was like it was just a little bit hard to believe Chris Jericho when he said that Kingston was jealous of him. Like it almost sounded like Jericho was kind of like forcing that narrative that Kingston was jealous, and then Kingston was just like, "What the fuck is this shit? Like I'm not jealous of you," which like I think everyone can see, but like I mean I wasn't too much of a fan of it just because it felt like Jericho was forcing a narrative that no one actually believed. And then Kingston was just like, just fight me. Like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, I was more on Kingston's side. It was just like, yeah, just fight. But I think that was probably the goal that they were going for. So, and
Ye-
you ended up liking it, but
yeah, I ended up liking it. I thought most of the parts where Jericho was mentioning that Kingston couldn't win the big one and just kind of like the fear of success stuff more than the jealousy stuff. I just thought, yeah, I mean, Kingston's been pretty open about everything, so I thought like maybe the fear of success or and just like the him dealing with his failures, I thought bringing that up was more so like a real thing for him to bring up. And I do understand what you were saying about like the jealousy stuff. Like, never has Kingston mentioned he was jealous of Jericho in his entire life, probably. I
mm,
thought it would have been more interesting if Jericho mentioned that he would have been jealous because Santana and Ortiz were with Jericho to begin with, or trying to make it seem like more real than just saying
yeah,
the most generic thing to get this feud on board right before the pay per view.
yeah. I thought they were gonna go that way too. I thought it would be like I would have believed it more if Jericho was just like, you're jealous because Santana Ortiz decided to stick with me, to team up with me, and I brought them into like a spotlight, something you were never able to do. I was just like, yeah, I could believe that. Like I totally believe that. But he didn't mention that. Said like he basically was just like, you're jealous that you didn't make any you weren't big until you were 38 and I was big time at 22. I was just like, I don't think Kingston ever fucking cared. Like I really don't think he ever cared. Like he just kind of forced that narrative through. I like that was the part I did not like. I do if you do look at Kingston though, and this was like the truth in what Jericho said, Kingston never won the big one. He never won the world title. Like how many times did he face Moxley? Twice.
I think
When
so, yeah.
yeah, and he lost both. He didn't beat Cody either for the TNT title. Um, what else? Like, there's like he had like another chance to like
He was part of the.
wait. He never beat CM Punk.
Yeah,
didn't beat Danielson. Like yeah, he just can't win the big one, and I think that was true.
he was also like the runner up on the. It was like All Out 2020 where he was part of the Casino Battle Royal for the contenders match, but he came in like in second place to Archer, I think, way back when.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he like I thought that was true. So like if they just focus their feud that Kingston can't win the big one, which I think is more reasonable instead of like jealousy, which I think they're just gonna focus on can't win the big one, then I think it will be better for me to watch and more have it be more believable in my eyes.
Yeah, that was definitely the better part, and I'm hoping that Kingston gets it done at the pay per view. Jericho has won his last two pay per view matches, so hopefully Kingston does get a big victory under his belt.
Yeah, I don't think Kingston wins at the pay-per-view. I think they're gonna keep because Jericho never does like a short feud with someone, right? Like
Oh
it's always a
yeah,
long feud. Like I think that Kingston's probably gonna lose at the pay-per-view, and then like they're gonna build up to Kingston's big win against Jericho.
yeah, I can see that. I forgot how much these feuds, especially with like Jericho drags, because the main feuds were like him with Orange, like recent I guess feuds were like him and Orange Cassidy that lasted a long time. Then him and
Yeah.
MJF, and now it's him and Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, so I think Jericho wins the first one. And then it kind of like builds up the theory that Kingston can't win the big one. That's what I think. And I think that is the route that they're gonna go to. Then we have Matt Hardy, Andrade, Isaiah versus Sting, Darby, Sammy in a Tornadoes trio match. They mentioned that's the first Tornadoes trio match, so would be interesting to watch. That's at the pay-per-view at Revolution. So then Face of the Revolution qualifier match. Ricky Starks versus Dark Order's 10. 10 shows off his power a bit. Ricky gets control, and then 10 just immediately regains control. 10 hits a delayed vertical suplex to go into commercial break. Ricky gets the heat on 10 during the break, and then back from the break, and 10 hits a massive shoulder tackle that knocks Starks to the outside. They're back in the ring, and 10 has a full Nelson, and Ricky Starks escapes only to be hit by a clothesline from 10. 10 relocks in the full Nelson, and then Starks starts to grab 10's mask. 10 lets go to like readjust the mask, and Starks hits a big spear for the win. I have written on here Stark wins 5 minutes 57 seconds. This is so I was complaining a bit earlier, right, for the ladder match that there like it was just all big tosses in the match, right?
Yeah,
Like, and there's no one to do high spots. So when they did Ricky Starks versus 10, I was just like, you know what? If they do just like an all Haas ladder match, I'll warm up to the idea. I'll think like it'll be like a new thing. Like I'll try to warm up to the idea. Like I'm looking forward to it. And then they show this, and I'm like, all right, so 10 should theoretically win if they want this all Haas match. And I'm just thinking, how are they gonna screw over Ricky Starks? Like who's gonna screw Ricky so Ricky has like this new feud so that 10 can be in this ladder match and then to fulfill like this all Haas ladder match and then Ricky Starks won. I was like, fuck this.
yeah. This match was really underwhelming. I thought Jay Lethal was going to come out and they were going to continue their feud to get 10 into the match, but no, it's only going to be a half Haas ladder match because now we have Ricky Starks, and well, when we get to Rampage, we'll talk about the next person in the match. But yeah, they just went three big guys, and I'm imagining the other three are just gonna be regular size.
I don't know
So
if like what their goal for this ladder match is. Let's have no one that can do a high spot because I don't think Orange Cassidy does like many like dives or anything. Ricky Starks isn't the type of guy to do like top rope moves either. So like I don't expect him to like jump around on a ladder. So like but like they're not like big powerful people.
yeah,
But
I
whatever.
I can't say what the plan is or what's going to make that match really interesting. I'll be happy to see Keith Lee in another match because we're probably not going to see him in a match until the Revolution ladder match, but
Yeah,
we'll just have to wait and see.
man,
And yeah, overall, this match was pretty underwhelming.
very
Um,
underwhelming.
this is what I feared the Adam Cole versus Ten match was going to be because yeah, Ten did a pretty good had a pretty good time in that match with Adam Cole.
Yeah,
Just because they had the time for it, but obviously they cut this one short for the other stuff, and well, we got what we got.
but I don't understand is why that mask was important for 10. I mean, if I'm 10 and then like Starks is grabbing the mask and like trying to rip it off, like I just let him rip it off. But like if like I think that was the goal. I think Starks was trying to rip off the mask, but 10 kind of fought it a bit, and that's why it put the mask in like a bad spot for him.
Yeah,
But I mean, if I'm 10 and like he's ripping at my mask, I just don't care about the mask because like he's not it's not like Penta or Phoenix where like masks are really, really important in Lucha Libre. Like he's just a guy that wears a mask. Like you have Five took off his mask and he didn't care. And now Five wrestles without a mask. So like I don't know why
yeah.
this mask was important for 10.
I
I mean
never
like maybe
understood.
maybe he has like some sentimental value with like Brody Lee, but I don't know.
Yeah, because Ten's like the only guy who consistently wears his mask. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I remember Dark Order would sometimes walk out like with masks and just take them off or something like that. But yeah, I never really got that.
But
But
like I
I
know
mean, it's a
Reynolds and Silver like wore masks when they first started and then
yeah,
they were allowed to take it off. Like and then Five finally got to take off his. I don't know. I'm pretty sure 10 gonna end up taking off his mask soon.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was an understandable spot at the end and probably like the best way to go for the finish. But the overall match was kind of meh.
Yeah, not too much in it. All right, next up, Buck's angry that Red Dragon double crossed them, and Cole is basically telling Red Dragon to get along with the Bucks. Nothing. It just built up more tension. It was kind of nothing. So I have Jade Cargill versus Allie or the Bunny next. They really make Jade Cargill look like a star. Like that entrance was pretty big for Jade Cargill. Um, they lock up. Jade hits like a really ugly kick, and when I say ugly kick, I don't mean I mean like on the screen, like it looked ugly. That was not a very well worked kick. It looked awful. But she then powers Allie with one hand, which was like pretty cool. And Jade has Allie's arm locked, and then she starts doing push-ups, just basically kind of like almost like a taunt at Allie or Bunny or whatever. Bunny throws Jade and kind of whiplashes her on the ropes. Um, then she throws Jade into the barricade, and then you go into commercial break. And then I didn't really see much into commercial break. I just saw Hardy was out there, and then he was like doing like this delete whatever to Sterling. I noticed at this point that there was only like 35 minutes of wrestling and like a 90-minute show. So I was like, okay. And then they come back, and I wrote on here, I don't know what happened. I was like, this match is not well worked at all. This looks awful, was what I wrote. Allie just gets heat on Jade. Now they're actually back from break, my bad. And there's a big splash in the corner. And then this, like, I could not wrap my head around this. Tony Schiavone said that facing Bunny was the biggest challenge Jade Cargill had or has had. I'm just like, Jade Cargill faced Thunder Rosa and Ruby Soho in the tournament, right?
Buries
Schiavone,
the
like
entire tournament.
like this match with Bunny cannot possibly be her most like her biggest challenge. It had to be against Ruby Soho at least for that title in the tournament. And even before then Thunder Rosa in the semifinals. Like that had to be a bigger than this challenge. Like I don't know. They Tony, I don't know what you were thinking saying that line. Jade catches Bunny into a spine buster. Uh, someone tosses or Matt Hardy tosses the knuckles to Bunny, and then Sterling tosses the title belt to Jade. They both hit each other with it. Like Jade hits like the knuckles, and then both Hardy and Sterling get thrown out by the ref. Bunny rolls up Cargill for a close near fall. They trade some more moves, and as Bunny is trying to hit her finish, she gets it countered into Jaded, and Cargill wins in 6:49. It was
This
an awful match.
this was not a good match. It should have been a squash match because clearly these two didn't have much to work off each other. Like the chemistry really wasn't there, and to make up for it, they had like overbooking with Hardy and Sterling trying to get involved with items. I did not care in the slightest of what was going on. I'm surprised they give Serena Deeb all the squash matches and not their champion, who would look a lot better. And I mean, if they want to go for some longer matches, maybe don't. If they want to do some longer matches to make Jade look less green, then maybe don't do it on Dynamite right away. Maybe do some more on like the dark shows, because right now I think the best would just be for Jade to show off her power while developing more skills, not on television. Because
Yeah,
this was not a good match, and I really had no interest. Because they've been boasting a lot of Jade's undefeated streak, and we all knew the Bunny, who I only remember what her last match was, is not going to defeat Jade. And
it was
yeah,
I think it was like that bloody match with Penelope Ford and Ty Conti and Anna Jay.
oh yeah,
I think that was the last one. I
yeah,
can't remember it. Like
but
I don't watch Dark or Dark Elevation either, so I don't know if like she probably had matches on there too to like try to build her up a bit, but most people don't watch those,
yeah,
right? Jade cuts a promo, says who's next, and then Ty Conti comes out. Tay says that she's gonna be the one that beat Jade's ass, bitch. Like I don't know why they have to like it sounds so forced. It's so bad. So they trade shots, and then Bunny comes in and just starts to beat Ty Conti. Like so, Jade and Ty Conti are like trading shots with each other, and then this is when Bunny comes in and like turns Tay around to punch her, and then instead she gets hit with like Tay's old finisher, and then Jade Cargill just boots Tay right after. I was like, like what? That's so weird. Whatever. I don't want to talk too
this
much
was
about that.
really just an awkward end segment after an awkward match. It was not good, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so Brian Danielson versus Daniel Garcia, main event. Garcia literally got no reaction. I felt so sad for him. Like they weren't even booing him. Like he just got nothing. And Danielson's still as over as ever. They lock up. Danielson starts hitting hard chops on Garcia. Brian's telling Garcia, show him the violence. Garcia gets a good shot in on Danielson. Hard chop, and then Danielson takes down Garcia and starts smacking him around. Brian hits a double underhook suplex into an armbar. There's a rope break, and then they run the ropes for a bit for Garcia to hit a huge chop block on Danielson. Garcia starts to work the leg. They go to commercial break. And then Excalibur called this a dream match. I just laughed so hard. Like this, I don't think this is a dream match, but
No, I mean I was looking forward
maybe
to
for
it.
Garcia, it's like his dream match, but like a dream match for us, I don't think so. Although it would be a pretty interesting match to watch. I just wouldn't call it a dream match.
Yeah, I was
So
surprised this was the main event.
yeah. So Danielson with hard kicks and Garcia with hard uppercuts. They go outside and then start slamming leg onto the post. Back from the break, and Garcia's in control. Danielson throws Garcia out of the ring and hits a diving knee. Danielson goes top rope for a missile drop kick. Danielson starts attacking the leg of Garcia and puts him in a heel hook. Garcia gets a heel hook of his own, and then they start hammering each other while they're both in heel hooks. But Danielson gets the upper hand and hits a tiger suplex and then goes for cattle mutilation. Garcia counters into an ankle lock, and then so Garcia and Danielson are trading holds, and then they are hitting each other and trade some more shots. They end up trading slaps, and then Garcia tries to go for a dragon screw, but Danielson catches it and then starts to stomp on his head, locks in a triangle, and he wins. So Danielson wins at 10-31. 2.0 jumped Danielson after the match, and then Mox comes out and tosses 2.0 out. Garcia tries to hit Mox with a chair, but Danielson stops him, and then Mox hits the Death Rider. Danielson says that if Mox wants the match at Revolution, then he has it. Uh, it was a pretty decent match. I mean, I don't think it was like a spectacular match. I don't think it was a bad match. It was a pretty well worked match.
It was a
Um,
dream match.
yeah, it was a dream match with not that much violence from Garcia. So I don't. Danielson wanted violence. I didn't see it. It was pretty tame on the violence part, I guess. I was expecting like more hard hitting chops, like the way Suzuki does it, but um a little disappointed in that regard, but it was all right. Um I guess like in match, it's probably the best match of the night just because everything else was pretty boring. Like if you exclude the tag team battle royal, this was the best match of the night.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, technically speaking, but I think just from the spectacle and the latter half of the tag team battle royal, I'd consider that the best one. I think this one was pretty good. I was actually surprised that this was the main event, but then I kind of realized there was nothing really else besides the Power Royal that could have been the main event.
yeah,
I was kind of surprised with how much more, I guess, comparing from the Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty match, how much more one sided this one felt.
that Lee Moriarty match was so much better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do like Daniel Garcia. I think he has definitely huge potential in AEW. I guess it was just kind of surprising when he first showed up. He was basically in the main event with 2.0 against like Sting, Darby, Mox, and all the big names. So I don't know if it was just saying like too early to throw him in or just like too high of expectations for someone this new to be in the main event, but overall, I mean, it was all right. A match, nothing like wrong with it per se. I guess maybe if it, I won't even say like if it had too much time because I think 10 minutes was a pretty decent amount of time for these two guys to put
Yeah.
on a good match. I guess maybe if like there was something more Garcia could have done on his end because I think like most of this was just like the Danielson show.
Yep. I'm more excited for the Mox versus Danielson match at Revolution. That's
Yeah,
going to
that's
be
true.
very good to. I think that's going to be a great match,
Very
actually.
violent.
Yeah, I hope. And then who knows if they end up teaming together right after. But it should be fun.
Yeah.
All right, so tune in next week for more review of AEW Dynamite.
Yep. See you then.